While going through his late father's things, a young musician finds a music box that contains a melody from a past life. What he doesn't realize is that this song will change his life forever. Let's get into the story. Arlo had always been fascinated by music. Even as a child, he would spend hours listening to his father's old vinyl records. But it wasn't just the music that captivated him. It was also the stories behind the songs, the way they transported his dad back in time to a different place and made him dance and sing along. When Arlo was 10, his dad would hum a tune from a bygone era and then suddenly burst into an impromptu rendition of that very same song. Then his eyes would twinkle and he would continue humming again until he caught sight of his son, at which point he would break into another song. And so the day would go, filled with music, laughter, and love. Sadly, when Arlo was 16, his dad passed away, leaving him with a mountain of vinyl records and a hole in his heart. Now a successful musician in his own right, Arlo still found himself drawn to his father's old house. He missed his dad terribly and often felt a deep sense of loneliness. But there was something else he couldn't quite put his finger on. There was a melody, one that kept playing on repeat in his head, a melody that sounded hauntingly familiar, yet he couldn't quite place it. It was driving him crazy. One weekend, Arlo decided to visit his dad's house and see if he could find some answers. As he rummaged through his late father's belongings, he stumbled upon a music box tucked away in a dusty corner. When he opened it, the melody he had been searching for filled the room. It was a beautiful, haunting tune that seemed to echo the depths of his soul. As the music swelled, memories flooded back to him, memories of a past life, of a time when he had lived in a world of elegance and grace. He remembered being a renowned musician in a faraway land, playing the violin for adoring crowds. The music box seemed to be the key to unlocking his past, and he was eager to explore what secrets it held. But as the melody continued to play, he began to feel a strange sense of urgency. It was as if the music box was calling to him, urging him to follow its song. And so he did. He let the melody guide him through the winding streets of his hometown, deeper and deeper into the heart of the city. He didn't know where he was going, but he trusted that the music would lead him to the answers he sought. As he walked, the melody changed, becoming more upbeat, more joyful. And then he saw it, a grand concert hall bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. Drawn by an invisible force, he stepped inside. It was like walking onto a movie set. Everything was perfect, from the plush red seats to the ornate gold leafing on the walls. But there was no one there. In the orchestra pit sat a violin, and as Arlo reached out to touch it, the music box began to play once more, louder than before. And then she appeared. A woman emerged from the shadows, her eyes fixed on the violin. She was beautiful, with long flowing hair and a gown that shimmered like starlight. As she raised the violin to her chin, the music swelled, filling the hall with its sweet sound. The woman began to play, and as the notes rang out, the memories flooded back to Arlo. He remembered being in love with this woman, how they had met in this very hall, how their love had grown with each passing day. He remembered how they had played together, how their music had echoed through the ages. The woman played on, oblivious to Arlo's presence. Her music was filled with emotion, with joy and sorrow, with love and loss. And as he listened, he felt a deep sense of longing, a yearning for a love that had been lost for centuries. Suddenly, the music stopped. The woman turned, and for a moment their eyes met. And in that instant, everything came rushing back to him. He remembered who he was, where he was from, and why he had been drawn to this place. In another life, he had been a renowned musician, a virtuoso whose music had touched the hearts of millions. He had been in love with a woman named Luna, a love that had been as beautiful as it was doomed. They had been separated by war, their paths diverging as the years went on. He had searched for her for many lifetimes, never giving up hope that he would find her again. And now, here they were, reunited in the place where their love had first bloomed. But as he looked into Luna's eyes, he saw the sadness there, the pain of a love that had been lost. He knew that he had to do something to help her, to heal her broken heart. And so he stepped forward, his voice echoing through the hall. "I'm here," he said. "I've come back to you." Luna turned, her eyes widening in surprise, and as she looked at Arlo, she saw not just a stranger, but a kindred spirit, someone who understood her pain, someone who could help her heal. They embraced, and in that moment, all the memories came flooding back to them. They remembered their love, their passion, their dreams. They remembered everything. The music box began to play, its melody swelling with emotion. And as they danced together, lost in the music, they knew that they had found each other again. In the years that followed, Arlo and Luna's love grew stronger than ever. They traveled the world, sharing their music and their love with everyone they met. They performed in grand concert halls and small village squares. They played for kings and paupers, for anyone who would listen to their beautiful music. Their love inspired their music, and their music expressed their love. But as the years passed, they began to feel the weight of their past lives, the memories that lingered like ghosts in the corridors of their hearts. They knew that they had lived many lives together, that their love had endured lifetimes of separation and sorrow. And now it was time to let go. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the room, they sat down together to face their past. They talked about their memories, about the lives they had lived, about the loves they had lost. And as they shared their stories, they began to heal, to let go of the pain and sorrow of their past lives. And then they made a decision. They would create a new life together, a life free of the burdens of their past. They would leave behind the memories and start anew. And so they did. They packed their bags and set off on a new journey, one that would take them to a faraway land. As they traveled, they felt a growing sense of peace. They had let go of their past, and now they were excited to see what the future held. They arrived in a small village nestled in the mountains. It was a peaceful place, far from the noise and bustle of their old life. They bought a small cottage with a garden and a view of the mountains. It was perfect. Here they started a new life, a life filled with love, joy, and music. They taught music to the children in the village, sharing their gift with those who were eager to learn. They performed in local festivals, bringing happiness to those who heard their sweet music. And as the years passed, they grew old together, their love growing stronger with each passing day. They knew that they had lived many lives, that their love had endured lifetimes of separation and sorrow. But now they were finally home, in each other's arms, in a place where they belonged. And as they looked back on their journey, they knew that it had all been worth it. The music box, the memories, the heartache, it had all led them to this moment, to this place, to each other, and they wouldn't have traded it for the world. Thank you for watching. If you liked the story, please share it with your friends and family. We would love to hear what you think about the story. So please leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our latest stories. Thanks for watching.